So firstly, Saurabh, I'm very excited to be here at the ET CFO event. I think this is one event that happens frequently, but I can tell you every time one is here, you walk away with new insights and with new observations and new experiences that the CFOs are undergoing. I think it's a very rapidly evolving and a complex space. So always exciting to be here and hear all the panelists and the presentations. Moving to your question, trust and digital transformation, it's an interesting angle. So look, I think if you just step back and think about what the CFOs really want, they're looking at trusted, broadly accurate, but reliable data to start with. And then they're looking at trusted systems, and they're looking at trusted processes. So trust is multidimensional in a CFO's life, and they are the custodians, and the controllership is what they own of the data and of the processes. So I would say that I think there is varied degrees of trust and of commitment. I think the commitment is 100%, but the trust in terms of the outcomes, in terms of the way data is used, in terms of technologies, functionalities, yes, there is a difference. And if you unpeel that problem a little bit, I think it's about the underlying data, the structures of the data models that the enterprise has, not just finance, because we understand accounts, but data is being generated by sales, by customers, by suppliers, by procurement, by supply chain. And if you really want to evolve this trust, you need to have a very comprehensive strategy across. So I would say that tech is not just about the tools and the licensed products. It is fundamentally about the underlying data architecture, and that I think the CFOs have realized now that you have to start at a foundational level and not just at the upper level. So I think, look, just like you said, we talked about the unified data strategy and tech architecture in your previous question. This is about a strategy that is consistent in the enterprise. You have to start with whatever that sector and that client in that sector, whatever maturity journey they're on, it has to be very, very clearly understood. I think we like to make broad generalizations around industries and sectors, which is okay. There are imperatives and trends, but a client's journey and a company's journey is unique at that point of time. So let's say that you're trying to accelerate sales, or let's say you're in the cost optimization phase. Let's say you're in the M&A phase when you're trying to get overseas, which a lot of Indian companies are today doing. All these are very different challenges as far as finance is concerned as a business partner. So I would just leave it at, not to answer for all sectors, but I would say the client at the stage they're at, the strategic imperatives that they have, and therefore, finance having a very clear understanding of what needs to get done. And not just through tech, it's through their talent, through finance talent, through the process, and simplification. I think one key requirement of finance today is simplification, which is an amazing conundrum. You think about all the complexities of what you just said and what finance really needs to drive. I think it's an interesting problem for CFOs to solve. So look, I think there is tech at scale and there is tech that is being incubated, and I think that's the marvelous world of digital that we're in. I guess your question more pertains to the second part, which is the innovative tech and how the use cases are evolving. So I think the clear one today, and I'm sure we've heard it a lot today also in our event, is the Gen AI use cases. I would say for a particular client who is very dependent on service contracts and contract life cycle, they started experimenting with Gen AI to say that, okay, one of the key capabilities is summarizing and synthesizing. And we all know it because we've all been exposed to different versions of Gen AI. So they said, okay, can we now begin to experiment with this and actually roll it out at scale? And I'm happy to say that we've seen that journey now, that from the incubation of just saying that marvelous aha moment when you say, oh my God, this can read about 10 contracts, 100 contracts, but to a point when you can integrate that into your enterprise process using your enterprise tech and Gen AI, I think is a journey that's unfolding right now. I wouldn't claim victory, but I think we're seeing a lot of interesting use cases over there.